continue today with our class Kosher Kitchen, and this session and all of them should be dedicated to Rifah Shlema of our dear Rabbi Yaron Reuven Shlita. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also to Ariela Ora Bas Anna, Yemima Rasirachel Bas Brandel, David Shlomo Ben Sandra, and quick release of our dear friend Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, BeEzrat HaShem. So I learned with him today. It was very productive. Baruch Hashem. All right, so we continue. We continue with our topic with the Kosher Kitchen, and now we're on chapter 18. Our topic Tevilah Kelim, so meaning the immersion of the vessels. Okay, so I mean we're up to section F, and our topic is going to be BeEzrat HaShem, where the utensil purchased as a food utensils, right? So meaning some jars, right? So we bought jars of pickles, and can you use this jar? I mean, it's actually reusable, right? So let's see. When one purchases food stuff in a glass or metal containers, it is questionable whether the container may be used without Tevilah. Poskim rule as following. One who purchases food in a container need not immediately empty the container of its contents. Okay. Some authorities permit eating the food directly from the container. For example, drinking soda from the bottle. I'm not sure how bottle is a good example. Okay. Some authorities even permit returning extra food to the container. For example, returning the remainder of the pickle, right, into the jar, or returning extra wine into the bottle. Once the container is emptied, there is a question whether one may refill it and use it as a container without Tevilah beforehand. There is opinion that permits reuse of glass or metal container. According to this opinion, one may reuse the glass juice bottle. I mean, okay. I think the jar is better example. I mean, juice bottle, glass juice bottle. Do they do glass juice? I think they do. Okay. But now today everything is plastic, majority. Okay. We noted earlier that, in the opinion of some authorities, storage containers do not require Tevilah. Okay. Thus. So when we say storage containers, we said like storage, for example, sugar or something, but not or flour, right? Or whatever, some grains, right? But like what is it? Cereals, right? But something like storage container that we use for leftover, like you have a leftover like a glass container, right? And you put the refrigerator, for sure you have to, because you have to tovel it, because you can eat from that. So you have a leftover, whatever, have a mashed potato, let's say mashed potato, a little on the bottom. So you're not going to put it in in another plate, and you can eat from that. Why not? Okay, why soil the extra dishes? Okay, so in this case, yes, is it storage 100%? I'm not going to cook in this storage container, and it says storage, right? I mean, we bought this, what is it, glass Pyrex, whatever, right? And it says storage, so meaning storage leads storage, so you cannot put them in a microwave. So some of them you can, but those you cannot. Okay, no problem. But still, we would for sure we would immerse them. Okay, so continue. So meaning all of these jars, nobody is going to cook in a glass jar or something, right? So it's mostly for storage. We noted earlier that, in the opinion of some authorities, storage containers do not require Tevilah. Thus, if the glass jar is to be used for storage only, there is additional reason to assume that the Tevilah is not necessary. Okay. In addition, we noted that utensil used for food that is not yet in edible state does not require Tevilah. And, I mean, the example that we said, like cereals, like right, not the breakfast cereals, but I mean the grains themselves, right? Or as we said, what else we said? Like flour. I think flour is good. For sugar is not, because sugar is edible, but flour I think is good. Or people store pasta, for example, right? They don't like, for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I saw they sell pasta storages. I'm not sure why. I mean, we store in boxes. I'm not sure what's the difference. Is it not? Is it going to dry? I'm not sure. What is the problem? I'm not sure. But for sure, it's not edible. So right, it would be also in this category. Tevilah, not necessary. In addition, we know that utensil used for food that not yet edible. So just 1 second. Edible stage does not require Tevilah. Thus, one may use coffee jar to store rice, okay, or beans without immersing it beforehand. Right? This coffee jar, I'm not sure why. I don't know why, but they made it from such a thick glass, maybe to make it look bigger. I don't know, because the coffee is very light inside. I mean, I'm talking about this coffee. What is it? Forgot. Whatever, coffee, right? But it's such a good quality, like with the lid, like such a good quality, so you can reuse it for many years, actually, right? Store the sugar or some other things. At least he said here, rice, right, or beans. Okay. Instant coffee. Sorry. Thus one may use the coffee jar to store rice, beans without immersing beforehand. If a product is sold in a decorative glass container that is meant to be reusable, it must be immersed before reusing. Since as previously stated arguments do not apply. In the opinion of some authorities, one who opens a tin can has essentially created a container. Since the sealed can was unusable as a vessel. In their opinion, it can be made reusable without Tevilah. Okay, we're going to see commentary. One who purchases foodstuff from the company owned by the observant Jew should not assume that they immerse the vessel before filling them, since in the opinion of the most poskim, they are not required to do so. Okay, so let's so we finished the whole section. So let's go one by one. There are some commentaries and try to understand what we should do. So again, our topic: where utensil purchase as a foodstuffs, right? Purchase as a food utensils, Okay. So again, when one purchases the foodstuffs in a glass or metal containers, there is a question whether container may be used without the Tevilah. So meaning, what is the rationale? The rationale is that technically this container was used as disposable. So even this coffee jars looks very good, a thick glass and nice looking, but most of the time we're going to recycle them, dispose them. Even he said they use for a rice or beans. Like how many of them do you need? 2, 3? I know, that's it. But the rest of them you're going to throw in the garbage. I mean, we don't throw in the garbage, we recycle, but still the same idea. So meaning when the company make them, they make as disposable. So meaning that's why they're not going to Tovel them. For what reason? We have to dip them in the water and then wait until they dry. So it's huge headaches. Why do you need that? Okay. So meaning that even if you buy from Jews, for sure I think in majority of the time were not toveled. Okay. Continue. Okay. So now we go into a poskim rule the following. Okay. So the first one. One who purchased the food in a container need not immediately empty the container of its contents. Okay. So meaning what? So you have jars of pickles or roasted peppers, right? No problem. So you don't have to. So we're talking about glass, right? If it's plastic, nobody said that you can that you're required to immerse them. So we're talking about glass or tin, right? Okay. So continue. Some authorities permit eating the food directly from the container. There is drinking soda from the bottle. So meaning in a sense, well, when you eat directly from a container, right, or directly from there, so you make it as a vessel, as a utensil, right? You make a kitchen utensil, so you can eat from your plate, or you can eat from that vessel, that jar. I would not recommend it. If you have family, when you go with your fork, it's not proper. So now family, everybody rule. So you take a clean spoon, clean fork, right into a jar, put whatever in your plate, and then close. Don't eat from there. So, but some people, I guess, they do, and then they surprised why food is spoiled. Right? We should not do that. Okay. Right. Okay. So we got that. So he said even if you use this as vessels, right, for to hold in food, right, so meaning drinking from the bottle, there is no problem, so you don't have to immerse them. Okay. So but the main point, I think, the disposable, just because you drink from this bottle because it's convenient to you, it's not because anything else. Okay. Some authorities, especially these soda bottles, I mean, of course, you can reuse them for whatever reason. I don't know, to store some water, I don't know, to water your flowers or something. But majority of the time, people would not use them. I mean, for food, to store food in soda bottles, maybe. I don't know. So continue. This does not constitute using a container, right? Since one merely emptying a container, right? So very interesting. Very interesting observation. So it's not like you using the container. We actually emptying. Like emptying meaning you can put in this liquid to your cup, or you can drink from that. Okay. Sefer Tevilah Kelim for 12 cited Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. That's all. So Rav Auerbach does not permit heating up the food in a can once it was opened. For example, heating baked beans in the can. So okay, so heating is a different story. So eating from there, it's like a regular storage. But heating now, you try to a person is using it as a instead of plate. Okay, no problem. Continue. Some authorities, however, permit returning extra food to the container. There is a returning the remainder of a pickle into the jar, or returning extra wine into the bottle. So, and this one, I mean, I think the most common. Right. So whatever is left over, right. So you can pour back into the bottle. Not from the glasses. Usually people do. I mean, we don't do that. Right. But if you have a special vessel to pour, right, the wine, right, not from the bottle, and whatever is left, so nobody drank from that. Yes, you can pour back into the bottle. Okay, for storage. 72 commentary. However, this is conditional on the fact that one does not plan to use the container after it has been emptied. So, meaning you're going to throw out this bottle after, while this same wine is there, no problem. But then you're planning to throw it out, no problem. Okay, continue. Once the container is emptied, there is a question whether one may still refill it and use container without Tevilah beforehand. So now we have this coffee jar, right, from this instant coffee, and you want to use it for sugar. So we're not talking about beans. Beans for storage, it's not edible, the difference. And you want to use it for sugar. Okay, so very good question. Right, so there is question by our authorities. There is opinion that that permits reuse of the glass, not metal container. Not a glass, but not metal container. And sometimes you have these fancy cookies, right? They come in the metal containers. Possible, right? It would be a problem according to this opinion. Commentary: the container was not acquired as the container was not acquired as a usable vessel. It merely functioned as a means by which the purchased food is transported. Right. So meaning that we're talking about this jar, like a glass jar. Right? So I'd like to when I buy in the store, I buy pickles. So do I care what jar? I mean, I don't care what form is it. I don't really care, right? I pay for pickles, but I cannot take in my hands from the store, of course, right? So they have to give it to me in something, right? And in a brine, of course, in a jar with a lid. That's it. That's how it works. So meaning I did not buy this jar. So of course it's included in a price. It's understandable, but I paid for pickles. In a sense, this jar was used as a way to transport the pickles to my house. That's it. Okay. So that's a very interesting explanation. According to this opinion, one may reuse the glass juice bottle. Okay, no problem. Glass juice bottle. It's in olden days. Today, I mean, there is, I think, only a few juice bottles they make. Plastic, much cheaper and lighter, right? Continue. We noted earlier that, in the opinion of some authorities, storage containers do not require Tevilah. So storage container in general, and especially the ones, as we said, that where we store not edible food. Thus, if a glass jar is to be used as a storage only, right? Storage only, there is additional reason to assume that Tevilah is not necessary. Glass jar. In addition, as we noted that the utensil used for food that is not yet in edible state do not require Tevilah. So as we said, the jar for right, this coffee jar, for example, for pickles even, right? So you can use to store rice or beans or something, right? So meaning here we have double leniency. It is for storage and storage of non-edible foods. Okay. Next one, the product is sold. If the product is sold in decorative glass container, that is meant to be reusable. So I think sometimes you would get those as a gift baskets. Right? The gift baskets are fancy schmancy, and there is some jar or something like, and maybe it's filled with a candy or whatever it's filled with. For sure, like it is a normal vessel, right? Normal vessel. It's not right. It is made to be reusable. And the same, for example, if you buy jars for preserves, right, or for pickling, right, this famous company Bowl, right, in the United States, a very old company, 150 years or something, like very old. So right, they sell you empty jars, and then the lids and the rings, like lids and the rings separately, right? So you can do your own preserves, no problem. So in this case, for sure you have to toll them, right? Because they were made as utensil, not you pay for them separately. You did not pay for a content, right? When you buy in a store like a jar of pickles, you pay for pickles. But here we buy only for these jars. You pay for the jars and lids, right? For sure, you have to toll them. So continue. So it must be. So we're talking about this decorative glass container. So we said it must be immersed before using it. Since the previously stated argument do not apply. Okay, as we understand. Same as this example that I gave. In the opinion of some authorities, one who opens a tin can can essentially create has essentially created a container, since the seal can was unusable as a vessel. In their opinion, it can be reused without Tevilah. Response of Tzilz Eliezer. I don't understand like what tin container they're going to use. So it was seal like maybe from tuna. I'm not sure. I mean there are like different kinds. Can you reuse them? I mean, yeah, people reuse everything, whatever they want. Okay, so but since it was when it was created like complete, so you were not able to use it before. So okay, so now you open it in a sense. You created container that did not exist before, and we said before, if a Jew creates something that was his, so once we pay for this container, whatever, for this food, whatever, so it became ours, and now there was no container. There's no container. It was like sealed. So now you created opening, you unsealed it. So now, in a sense, you created a container. So you don't need to toll because it was made by a Jew. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, continue. And the last one who purchases foodstuff from the company owned by an observant Jew should not assume that they immersed vessels before filling them since. In the opinion of most poskim, they are not required to do so, right? I mean, why would, in my mind, why would they do so? Because in most of the cases, those containers are disposable. Now, nobody's going to keep them. Okay, so right. So even if you buy it from a Jew, so since he did not mean it to sell to you as a vessel, so yeah, so they were not totaled for sure. Not. Okay, so let me quickly see what time is it. Second. All right, so let's see. Let's continue a little further. Or should we stop here? Actually, you know what? Let's stop here. So we're in section 2, which is called Tevilah. So Tevilah, as I understand, the procedure itself. Right. Okay. Right. So the preparations of the vessel, how we have to take all of the stickers, and what happens. I was asked the question: what happens like if people forgot to take all the stickers, like on the back. Right. Of course, like on a place where it does not touch the food. Right. That's what should we do? All right. So let's do something else. 1 second.